South American countries, ranked for best to worst. South American countries appear to be among the top bests and also among the top worsts. This is a unique feature of the continent. In fact, the best country in South America can match or rank better than some countries in Europe and Asia. But what is the best country in South America? Let's start by asking the question, how many countries are there in South America? For record purposes, there are 12 independent countries on the continent. Here are those countries in a simple alphabetical order: Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana, Paraguay, Peru, Suriname, Uruguay, and Venezuela. Besides these 12, there are 2 dependent territories, namely the Falkland Islands and South Georgia, and the South Sandwich Islands among several other territories. But let's focus on ranking only the 12 independent South American countries from best to worst in this video. 1. Uruguay. Uruguay is considered the best country in South America. It's generally held as the safest place in South America. You will agree no less when you consider its laid-back atmosphere. Montevideo, the capital city of Uruguay, is often associated with the Western European cafe culture. Uruguayans generally have a high standard of living as the government is doing its best to reciprocate the goodwill it's enjoying. Note also that natural disasters are not a threat to the Uruguayans. This one advantage is enough to make it the best country in South America. It also has the best of many tourist attractions on the continent, while the people are quite friendly. 2. Chile. Chile, the second best country in South America on our list, has certain things in common with Uruguay, the very best country. Chile ranks high in safety globally. It hasn't been ranked outside the top safest 30 countries in the world. Natural disasters are uncommon here. The cost of living in Chile is low for its high standard of living. This is probably because Chile has the strongest economy on the continent. This economic strength is partly responsible for the very low crime rate in the country, and Chile is the least corrupt in that region. In South America, Chile has the lowest poverty level. 3. Argentina. Argentina is among the top best countries in South America. As one of the southern countries, most of the South American features in Argentina are in moderation. But for safety, it ranks a lot higher than 9 other countries. While you may hear of dengue fever, especially in places like Salta, the healthcare system in Argentina is excellent. It is free for every Argentine and tourists that fall sick while visiting the country. The country hasn't experienced any political turmoil in recent times, despite its economic challenges that should have caused protests and riots in other countries. Argentina has a diverse and vibrant landscape in towns enriched with culture and liveliness. 4. Paraguay. Ranking as the 4th best country in South America is Paraguay. It tops this list due to its clement weather and predictable climate. According to the Global Peace Index, Paraguayans don't have a lot of things to be worried about. For one thing, it's not a country often visited by tourists. Thus, many areas of its major cities haven't caught the attention of criminals. The Paraguay soil is fertile, which endows it with lush forests. Though it has comparatively few mineral resources, the ones it has are among the most economically viable, such as clay, copper, limestone, and petroleum. A good resource is its rivers, well suited for hydroelectric projects. 5. Ecuador. Ranking the 5th best country in South America is Ecuador. In this country, whose name means equator, the majority of the crimes committed are non-violent. If tourists can feel relatively safe here, Ecuadorian can feel a lot safer. In fact, there's a special police force saddled with the task of assisting tourists and travelers who don't feel at ease or land in any kind of trouble. Despite nice and good things about Ecuador, it can't be among the best 4 because of certain health risks. Food poisoning and unsafe water are common in this country. Ecuadorian borders, especially with Colombia, aren't very safe. 6. Bolivia. Yes, Bolivia isn't a bad country in South America. Unfortunately, it can find itself only in the 6th position due to its economic situation. Poverty in Bolivia has made it more dangerous. ATM-related crimes are more common in Bolivia than in many South American countries. Nevertheless, though, it's one of the poorer countries on the continent. To some extent, Bolivia is tourist-friendly. Even Bolivia's Yungas Road, popularly called the Death Road, has improved. It's no longer the scariest place to drive. This ranks Bolivia as high as being in the 6th position. The only challenge for visitors is the altitude, especially in the capital, La Paz, which is 11,942 feet above sea level. 7. Peru. The first of the countries in the last half is Peru. Though it's popular with tourists, don't be surprised to find the country here. Peru has some serious concerns about security in certain parts of the country. For instance, there is a minimal police presence in the East Andes region. This freely allows illegal activities such as unregulated mining and drug dealing. Muggings are also a serious issue. You have to keep track of the personal effects such as passports and electronics. Nevertheless, adventure-seeking retirees will consider this country a nice place, and those on a tight budget might be attracted by the Peruvian low cost of living. 8. Suriname. Suriname ranks this low not because it's dangerous, but because it's among the least often visited countries. Thus, it's an ideal destination only for experienced tourists seeking an adventure. It's probably another very off-the-beaten-path destination. Consider the fact that Paramaribo, the country's capital and a mid-sized city, has a very limited support system for tourists. You really can't know what to do and who to call in case of danger or emergency. You may need to exercise extra caution at night. Suriname is a country almost mostly a tropical jungle. If you love that, good for you. But remember to prepare for mosquito-borne diseases such as malaria and yellow fever. 9. Brazil. Mighty Brazil, a kind of giant in South America, can take only the 9th position. Though this country is likely the most popular in the region, it's been ranked the 3rd lowest country in South America since 2018, according to the Global Peace Index. In spite of the influx of tourists, every year due to the availability of solid tourist infrastructure, major cities in the country have a lot of crimes such as snatch and grabs and robberies, posing real threats to both the residents and tourists. Even those living in favelas and other low-income neighborhoods in cities like Rio are at a higher risk of becoming a victim of a crime. 10. Guyana. This number 10 spot is befitting Guyana in the northeastern part of South America. This is the often forgotten country in the region. That's why it's not on the list of many travelers. This obscurity has exposed the country to several conflicting reports. You thus can't be sure of where to place it in rankings of South American cities. However, with little information available about Georgetown, the capital of Guyana, we can say your living there, albeit with extra caution, will be rewarded. The caution mentioned is needed because recent reports show that armed robbery, assault, or at least pickpocketing are not uncommon crimes there. 11. Colombia. We can recommend the Colombian authorities for trying hard to bring the country out of the danger zone. Just 2 decades and a half ago, the country's first mention evoked the image of violence and drug trafficking. But now things are improving. The country is gaining more attention from the tourists and is positioning itself as a fledgling destination for tech companies. Yet those issues still rear their heads now and then in the country. The country is still very corrupt with a high level of distrust in government. In recent years, there are hundreds of targeted killings that seem to be politically motivated. The country also appears to be breeding local terrorism. 12. Venezuela. Despite its long-time reputation as a naturally beautiful country, Venezuela is at the bottom of the table, the very worst country in South America. The culturally warmest country in South America has been very unfortunate to be struggling with a mismanaged economy. No thanks to the bad political leadership, the country has been inflicted with hyperinflation and corruption. These twin woes have done a great deal of crippling to the country and have plunged it to starvation and extreme unrest. Now the country is witnessing a mass exodus of its citizens. The crime rate has subsequently increased drastically, such that many countries place Venezuela on the blacklist for tourism. While you may see a different ranking of South American countries than these, this ranking is based on the factors such as safety, economy, cost of living, weather, and standard of living. If you have an idea of a different ranking, please let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell.